Hello and welcome to our place in Sicily. I'm Jen.
And I'm Matt.
And if you haven't met us before or seen any of our videos, we are crazy Americans who have moved to Sicily and purchased an abandoned palazzo. And today we're going to pick what's left of our grapes and also talk to you about some often asked questions about what we were doing before we were crazy. That's in this episode. Okay, so we don't have a lot of grapes left. I think some have fallen and some have gone to the birds, but we still have enough left that I'm going to try some grape jam. We've eaten some off of the vine, but while we do this, don't worry about it, Matt, just put them in the bag.
All right.
Unless there's something gross on them.
I'm just trying to get the gross stuff off.
So we thought we would use this time to talk to you about some of the questions that we've been getting. We had some of our customers from our cheese store in Boston, which we'll talk about. What were we doing before this? So we're going to talk to you while we pick grapes, because otherwise we'd just be staring at the camera. Okay, so Matt,
Yeah.
I'm going to check out over here while you work that. What were you doing before we moved here?
Well, I was doing sort of what I'm still doing. I've been working at more or less the same company for 30 years as a software developer.
Yep.
Making software for architects and engineers.
And you're still doing that?
And I'm still doing that while I'm here in Sicily, just
picking grapes.
Remote working, and shifting my hours so that, I kind of work with American hours.
Yep.
So for me, it's just a change of venue.
Yeah. So he still speaks in English all day.
Yeah. Been doing nothing for my learning Italian.
And together we own two businesses, but I run them. We own a store in Boston, a cheese store in Boston called Curds & Co. And also a cheese subscription box run out of Boston, but called curdbox.com. And we've been running those. Let's see, we started the store in 2017 and we started the box in 2018. We have won Best Cheese Store in Boston. This past year we got Best Cheese Subscription Box from the USA Today Readers Poll. We just were named one of the top 6 cheese subscription boxes by Food and Wine. And at the same time, we are looking for new adoptive parents. Is that what we're doing?
Well, not for us.
No, we don't want to be adopted.
But
we have parents. We have good parents too. So we basically do, we have teams that help us run both of these companies, and they're in very good hands. But honestly, we've done a lot of work to grow both businesses, and like the next step of growth is, are you okay? Did you just drop a whole set?
I just dropped a whole thing down 20 feet and
now they're all splashed on the ground.
They're all smashed on the ground.
Yeah, we think both businesses have a ton of potential, and it needs the next person to drive that. And so we're looking for that. It'll be sad to see that go, especially since our daughters still live in the Boston area and still love cheese. And but that's our plan, is to sort of move to this next stage. I'm super excited. We're being very picky about who can own our businesses. I mean, it feels a little bit like I am picking out adoptive parents. I don't know. Would you agree, Matt? Are you being less picky? Or mostly I'm just the one picking?
Well, you're picking more because, it
is my job.
It's more your, it's both of our babies, but
yeah.
you're more involved.
Yeah.
As with all of our babies.
Yeah.
I was involved, but not,
You're kind of like the
I'm
1950s
the,
dad of the
I'm the father.
businesses.
Yes. I get
Like,
called
hi,
upon.
honey, I'm home. What do you need? I'll take the kids to soccer. I'll take the cheese box to soccer. How are you doing over there? I think I got another bunch down here.
Okay, you want the scissors?
Yeah, maybe this one is going to be picky. And I think we've said on other podcasts that we didn't intend on buying a Palazzo. This was totally an accident.
An accident makes it sound like you like you tripped on something
didn't
and
read all the
money
paperwork.
fell out of your wallet or something like that. But
So
sure.
yeah, it's very affordable in comparison to Boston. I would actually say in comparison to most of the US to be able to live in Sicily. So this gigantic house cost only more than our starter house. All the other houses that we've owned.
That we bought in 1994.
Yeah, that we bought in 1994. It's only more expensive than that. Not more expensive than our house in the Dallas area or the Boston area or the Colorado area. Granted, we still have to do renovation on this, but it still wins the price.
Not a house for the money.
It's a lot of house for the money. And what we pay for, I think, is in time. It's going to take us a few years to get through this, and we're good with that. What other questions do people ask us, Matt?
Let's see. I mean, we get a lot of why Sicily questions.
Why Sicily? So yeah, that was the fault of the cheese store again, because we, like how I'm making you do all the work. I think there's maybe some off of the stairs here. I don't know if you can reach them.
I can go around.
And then we'll move down to our green grapes, which are growing over a tree. But yeah, we brought a bunch of customers here from our cheese store. We did a great big Summer of Sicily thing at the store, and then we ended it with a trip in October. This was as sort of the first or second round of COVID was finishing the fall of 2020, but it had cleared up for like 2 minutes before the next round. And we just fell in love with it. And we were really trying to decide, because our girls were in college at that point, what do we do with the rest of our life? We always started our two companies knowing that our goal was to build something that would live on and make people happy, and that like we never intended on being owning this until we were in our graves. We've worked really hard to make a business that we would eventually exit from. And it just happened to be interrupted by a need to move to Sicily. Now, what are we going to do here? Well, let's move to the next set of grapes. And actually, let me just show you what we're picking from this side. Now, these were lush and plump and beautiful before, but they're sort of an oblong. We've shared pictures with some great people to find out what kind they are. We don't know. Super lush. This all got cut back. We didn't do anything to it. It lived through a hot summer. And now we've got, I think they're still green grapes, more globular. They're round on our tree. So we'll be right back with more from downstairs in the garden. Whoop. Little big babies here. So, those look like some almost ripe figs. Cool. All right, welcome to the downstairs here, Matt. Why don't you show them? Maybe we have to work more in partnership. These guys are in better shape. So much rounder, still a little oval, but green grapes. Okay, what were we talking about? We were talking about.
Those are great.
I know. He doesn't believe me.
Seeded though, so.
Yeah, well, we're going to take care of that with our food mill. Okay, so we were talking about, well, what are we going to do here if we sort of get rid of the business? And I don't know, what are you going to keep doing, Matt?
You know, I mean,
your job.
I'm content to. I've got a pretty good gig. I'm enjoying it. So, as long as they are still cool with me working kind of shifted hours, yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Um, yeah, and for the for me, once we get this business sold, these businesses sold. Wow, there's so many grapes, Matt. Remember
Like
how you said you didn't think we could pick 2 kilos of?
it's like a curtain of grapes. Yeah.
It is a curtain of grapes. And underneath this, guys, is a really super beautiful tree, flowering camellia tree.
I was mostly saying that I didn't know if I needed to have 2 kilograms of grape jam. Yes, because
Oh.
that's a lot of grape jam.
Says the man who eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day, even in Sicily. I'm not kidding, folks.
Not every day.
Okay. Small hyperbole, but not hyperbole. So anyways, we're trying to figure out how we want to use this house. So that's one thing. I'm working on a sort of side project, only a little bit now because I want to stay focused on the businesses that we have. But my goal is to try to find a way to help this house, this palazzo, serve the town that we're in, and help others explore, find Sicily, whether you have Italian or Sicilian roots and you're interested in coming here, or you've just watched it on White Lotus, and trying to be sort of I call it like a cultural translator for that, because there's not a lot of really good info. There's lots of great info for learning about Paris or Spain or whatever, but Sicily doesn't have that yet. So that's kind of the thing I'm going to work on. So don't worry, I'm not going to be bored to death just sitting in my palazzo by the pool. I might be working by the pool. So I think I can think of one other question, and then I'm happy to ask them. I want to ask them for help about something. But one other question we get asked is, like, of all the towns, why Piedimonte Etneo? Matt, let's start with your reasons, and then, because I got lots of reasons, but we'll start with yours first.
Well, I think we came and we stayed in a number of different towns around Sicily in preparation for this, and actually we lived for a year in Ortigia, which is down in Syracuse, Sicily.
Yep.
And we tried to figure out what did we want, what did we not want? Did we want something more city? Did we want something more rural? And in the process of looking at these things, we stumbled upon this house, which actually was a charming kind of combination.
Right.
Of it has obviously it has a good sized garden and that kind of thing, but we're also
Lots of grapes.
we're also in the middle of town. So I think
the main church is just on the other side. In fact, the people who built this house lived in the houses called the houses behind the church. Yeah, so that's not even why Piedimonte Etneo. That's kind of why this house, which then led to Piedimonte Etneo.
But we also know a bunch of people in this town.
We do, yep, that's another reason. So that was an easy one. We knew neighbors, both Americans and non-Americans, Germans, Sicilians, and
yeah, I think that's it. It's a mix of,
and for
this
me,
was the house, but also we knew the.
Yeah, well, those are Matt's reasons, and mine, I would add on to those. I 100% agree with his, but also here you have the scissors. We keep switching the scissors to the person who's not actually picking. So also for me, it can get very hot here in the summer, and we're up on Mount Etna, which is not like we're on the edge of a volcano. The volcano is a good part of the island. I don't know, 1/20th of the island or something like that. I don't know. We should find that out. But we're on it, so we're just at an elevated height. So it's like 10 degrees cooler here than the rest of the island. Yeah, than the coast. Wow, this grapevine is grabbing me. So I like that I can sort of adjust the weather. It's perfectly located for us in Catania. We had already decided the East Coast, but it's a sort of quaint provincial town that has a lot of traffic through the main thoroughfare because the street that you take up the mountain goes right through our town.
Everybody going to Etna North comes right by us.
Yeah. So there's a livelihood here. There's not a lot of restaurants. There's a theater in the next town over. There's a few grocery stores. There's a couple food markets. There's, I don't know, 4 or 5 butchers.
There's a lot of butchers per
3
per
or
capita.
4 bakeries, like bread bakeries, multiple coffee shops. So it's enough to live a normal Sicilian life and not a touristic life. And I don't know, it's just lovely. The people here are lovely. They've really welcomed us, which is great. So my question, or my ask, I guess it's a question to ask, because we just talked about the stores, and I told you that we're being picky about who we're going to sell the businesses to. We are looking for somebody who wants to take on either or business back in the States. The e-commerce business can be run from anywhere in the States, really anywhere. I'm not in the States, I'm running both of those businesses. I think the store would benefit from somebody in the Boston area. And, you know, if you're interested, I'll put our email below and I can send you, actually we'll put our business broker's name below. Bill is fantastic and he's been talking. We've had a lot of people, a lot of our customers from the store have been interested in this. Of course, it's like the thing they'd like to do in 5 years when their kids are out of school and their kids aren't out of school, or, you know, they're just waiting to get to retirement for a pension. And so like we just happen to be selling it at not the great time for them. With so many happy people interested in this, we're just trying to find the right people. If you, in the meantime, are in the US, and unfortunately just the contiguous US, we can't ship to Hawaii and Puerto Rico and Alaska. But and you can go to curdbox.com and get a cheese box that I curate. I do a podcast every month talking about what's in it. There's a Spotify playlist that all revolves around a theme. So feel free to subscribe or think about us for gifts. That will help support us and this new life and the restoration of the roof and the ceilings and all that stuff. Nothing is going to waste here. And
you'll get a great cheese experience.
Oh yeah, and it's delicious. Did I mention that we got Best Cheese Box from USA Today? We've been featured on the Today Show, Goop, Oprah. Yeah, so try that out. And if you aren't interested in buying a cheese business, but you know somebody looking for their next step, there's so many people who are sort of finally worn out from life after COVID and stuff. Holy cow. I just want to show you that our bag is full. I thought this will be plenty of room. We might not be able to keep picking, Matt.
Yeah, I think it's probably time to stop
so,
for today.
if you know somebody who's thinking about that, know that the cheese business is made up of 50% people who came through farming, agriculture, dairy, retail, whatever, and then the other half of us are crazy like me and opened a cheese store. And the first day I worked in the cheese store was the day I opened my cheese store. It is a beautiful, wonderful community. All the cheese store owners sort of talk with each other. We work with each other. We help promote the cheese. It is like, it's hard to leave, but it is really important that both of these businesses, I think, continue to run and grow, because there's so many next things that we can work on, and we're looking for somebody. So if you know somebody in your life who might be interested, if you could send them this link, that would be great. And you know, reach out to us, let us know in the comments anything about any additional questions.
Sure.
Because I'm sure the minute I turn this video off, I'm going to remember 2 more things that people have asked us about how are we making this happen. And we're going to talk about our visa and how we're actually living here in another video. It's complicated, and we want to really like not be picking grapes at the same time. But we're really happy to share that information too, because it's information that helped us sort of live our new dream. And I think that's it. I think we're going to pick a few more grapes here and then go home and make some jam. A lot of jam. And so thanks again for joining us on our journey. Any other last words you got?
Ciao.
No. And same for me. Ciao, ciao. We'll see you next time.